Some people will watch this video and think to themselves, toxic masculinity? It is understandable that we are suffering from a pandemic of weak men because they have been brainwashed to believe that men and women are the same. However, there are some things that never change in the modern world. A man should be able to handle himself no matter what the situation is. There are skills every man needs to master no matter what times we live in. In this video, we will go over 6 skills every man needs to master to unlock his true potential.
1.
The most important skill in life is knowing how to fight. Imagine yourself and your spouse walking down the street when a man walks by and slaps her. What would you do in such a situation? You can't just call the police and wait for them to come. You could choose to ignore it entirely, but then you would lose both your woman's and your own respect. Nobody should be able to hurt someone you love and care about without consequences. It might surprise you to learn how many guys in today's world chose to ignore the problem and try to justify their inaction. Fighting, whether it is through martial arts training or developing your physical prowess, is about protecting others, not about looking for conflict. Every man who values himself has to be able to protect himself. But how can I learn to fight? Look for a local gym that teaches Krav Maga, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, or boxing. These fighting styles will show you in more than just hurling and blows. They will instill in you self-control, respect, and a tactical attitude that will enable you to recognize threats and take appropriate action. Keep in mind that the objective is to protect and defend against uncertainty rather than to become an aggressor. 2. Improving your focus and concentration. People's attention spans and concentration levels have been greatly impacted by social media. Some of you have been so negatively impacted that you are unable to watch this complete video without clicking on the next one. I challenge you to concentrate and pay close attention to this video the entire way through. Can you pay attentively without getting sidetracked? For men, the capacity to concentrate is a strong trait that can mean the difference between success and failure. It requires not just the ability to focus on a single job, but also the ability to block out outside distractions and maintain a laser-like focus on the task at hand. Men can become actual masters of their craft, refine their abilities, and achieve greatness because they have the ability to focus. Men who are able to concentrate do not get quickly distracted or discouraged by obstacles, and they are able to maintain their sights on the goal and realize their objectives since they are not readily overcome by setbacks. People's attention spans have been wrecked by the endless stream of content and entertainment on apps like TikTok and Instagram, to the point where everyday tasks appear more uninteresting than they used to be. Most people can't even use the loo without their phone. Push alerts are a common enticement used by social media programs to draw users in. When you see that you have a new message, or that someone has tagged you in a picture, you click it and end up spending hours of mindless content scrolling through things you don't care about. Most people find it nearly impossible to concentrate because they are accustomed to being entertained all the time, and everything is boring when you are entertained all the time. How can you accomplish your goals if you can't even concentrate on your work without checking your phone? The good news is that since most competitors are too distracted and eager to concentrate, it's simple to stand out because everyone has lost the ability to focus. 3. Having a strong presence. Have you ever noticed that some men have such a presence that, even without speaking, they command respect from others? What if I told you that these men don't just naturally possess this quality? Instead, it's a skill that can be learned. You see, this presence is an accumulation of many small things and habits. To develop this quality, you need to be a strong man who can shake hands firmly, look people in the eye when you speak to them, and walk. When you look a man in the eye, you nod your head and acknowledge him with your chest out. In actuality, charm is a learned behavior that can be cultivated in a similar manner to how we learn to walk or practice vocabulary while learning a new language. Now, I will admit that many men try to fake these things, but it never succeeds because people can see a fake. Avoid becoming like the guy who tries to scare people, by tightly gripping hands, or by staring them in the eyes. The best approach to master this ability is to surround oneself with supportive individuals. Consider what actual guys can teach you. These men can be your own father, a mentor you have, or other men you know from a fighting club. Although they command respect and conduct themselves with strength and dignity, fighters are frequently the most kind and tranquil men. 4. Financial literacy. The biggest disappointment with schools, universities, and colleges is probably the lack of financial education. We learn most things, but many men go through life not knowing how to truly handle money. We've been brought up to think that having a job that pays a paycheck is the only requirement. However, if you can start changing your perspective on money, you'll be able to make wise financial decisions and position yourself for financial freedom. Robert Kosky's well-known finance book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, has helped many individuals and forced them to view money differently. Begin studying finance as soon as you can. It's an essential life skill. 5. Emotional intelligence. Because mastery over one's inner world is the ultimate mark of a warrior, every man should possess emotional intelligence. A man who panics and buckles under pressure will never be able to outperform a man who can remain composed and utilize critical thinking when things become tough. Listen up. In a world where you are always being tested, being able to understand and regulate your emotions is not just smart, but also necessary. Research has proven that emotional intelligence is a crucial component of effective leadership and an even more significant success indicator than IQ. Because you've learned to regulate your emotions even when they feel overwhelming, it helps you remain composed in tense situations. 6. Adaptation. It takes more than strength or intelligence to live. It's the most flexible. Although you are powerless over life's obstacles, you do have power over how you respond and adjust. In today's fast-paced world, stability is the ultimate survival skill. It is the capacity to adapt, change, evolve, and improve upon previous experiences. Consider a chameleon. Staying one step ahead of its predators while fitting in perfectly with its surroundings. Life is full of problems and unexpected twists, but men who are adaptable are able to handle these hurdles with grace and resilience. They are able to think quickly, come up with creative solutions, and emerge victorious. That's the power of adaptability. It's what separates the strong from the weak. Successful guys who are flexible may take chances, take advantage of new opportunities, and never stop improving to stay on top of the game. If you found value from this video, then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Until next time, brothers.